tonight's a really important stream. Just going to get the word out and talk about Bill C-11, guys. I know it might not affect you guys in the United States, but there is a way for you to help us. And if you're in the UK or any country other than Canada, you still can have your voice be heard. And I'm going to tell you how to do it, okay? Because the more people we can get to go through this Digital First Canada website and send letters, the better the chances we have of defeating this. So I'll give you a little bit of history. Here. The Canadian government has always been like very, very, very strict on their censorship. Okay, and they've always like censored television and radio, and they make the broadcasters play a certain amount of Canadian content, and it's really bad TV. It's horrible TV. I don't know any, I know there's some things that are shot a little bit in Canada that are good, but I don't watch any shows that are made in Canada either. I just don't like them. I like good stories, high quality stuff, and I'm sorry, but that's just not the kind of stuff you find coming out of Canada, unless you're on, YouTube, because we're all independent, and you're basically at the mercy of the algorithm, and the only way to be successful is to really have good quality content, or build good communities, stuff like that. So basically what's going to happen, to summarize it all up, is the government owns 99.9% of all of the news and media outlets in Canada. So the thing is that recently Canadians have lost faith in Canadian news and in Canadian media, like state-run media. Even though it's not owned directly by the government funds it, and it's really crazy. There's a massive bias, and they only tell one side of the story, and and they lie so much, and they blame. And the only people telling the truth out there are YouTubers and Rebel News, for example. They're telling both sides of the story, right? And the government doesn't want that. The government doesn't want us to have that voice or that opposition, right? Our prime minister is a guy who admires China. Yeah, and that's the thing. I've worked so many years for not a lot of money and trying to get a successful content creation thing going here, and I've spent 6 years of my life, and I've spent a lot of money, and I haven't received a single cent from the government, right? And I don't need it, don't want it, and even if it was offered, I wouldn't take it. I don't believe in taking handouts like that, because you're not stupid. You're never going to bite the hand that feeds you, right? So right now our government has zero opposition, right? So people are really frustrated and that's why there's so much protesting going on in Canada, is because nobody's voices are being heard. There's a total media bias, and they only say one side of the story, and they blatantly lie. They just blatantly lie and make up things, and they never really rebut them. They'll double down most of the time. It's crazy. So it's a big mess right now, and the only voice left is the internet, and the government is coming after that. So the government is coming after our voice, right? And they're trying to rush it through the House of Commons without debating it. The Liberal Party keeps shutting down the debate and taking it to committee, and all the witnesses that they've had come forward on the last hearings were people with special interests who have a lot to gain from this bill, which would be the big corporations like CBC, CTV, Global, all those big organizations. They had one YouTuber, JJ McCullough, speak on the matter, and it's just to speak for all social media. Okay, that's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Everything, every platform that there would be content on will be governed by the CRTC in Canada, right? So likeliness. So what's going to happen, right? Is the YouTube if this bill passes, the YouTube algorithm will have to recommend content to people that people don't want. So the engagement will be very, very poor. So people there isn't going to be there aren't going to be Project Mockingbird. Yes. Yeah. Right. So there'll be so when people get are when content is shoved down your throat, you don't watch it or you react badly to it. So that means low retention rates, thumbs down, no sharing, and poor comments maybe, or if any at all. Hard to be successful as in its current state. And the fact that we're already at a major disadvantage in Canada compared to our American counterparts, our competitors, other channels say that are from the United States, we're already at a huge disadvantage compared to them. Now this will just totally destroy us. Like it'll be YouTube will just stop serving up Canadian content, maybe not even operate in Canada. I mean, I don't even know what they'll do. Like it's a real concern. Fantastic seeing you, man. Very good to see you. We're talking about Bill C-11 and how it's gonna be really bad for us. They're basically trying to turn the internet into basic cable, like how cable is, and it's just wrong. It's absolutely wrong. The people should have the freedom to choose what they want to watch and what they don't want to watch, and creators should have the freedom to create whatever they want to create, as long as it's within the community guidelines, right, and the terms of conditions. You know what I mean? As long as you're following the rules of YouTube, then you should be able to create whatever you want. The fact that I'm a Canadian content creator and only 8% of my views come from within Canada, guys, only 8%, 60% comes from the United States. And I think I get more views from Russia and the Philippines than I do Canada even. It's absolutely ridiculous, this bill that they're trying to put forward. They're power hungry, they're just greedy. They're trying to prop up their businesses that they invested in, which is the CABC and all that, right? They've given the money, right? And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting what they're doing, and they need to be stopped. This has to stop. There's so many other things they should be doing, and this is ridiculous. These guys are all globalists, and every other day of the week they're all globalists until it comes to propaganda, and then they want to promote Canadian culture. Well, sorry, what is Canadian culture? You can't define Canadian culture because we are an inclusive country, a multicultural, inclusive country that is like we're made up of all these different ethnic groups, and the define Canadian. How the heck do you define it? You can't. You cannot define what is Canadian. So to me, this is they're only going to push forward what is Canadian content. Is the companies that tell their side of the story. They will suppress any kind of opposite opinion. They're only going to recommend the big companies like the CBC and all that, because nobody watches them. Nobody watches them anymore, because there's no honesty in them. There's no honesty in it. So YouTube and social media, these platforms, everyone's watching these now, these streaming platforms, and now the Canadian government's upset, right? Because, well, people can see through your lies. People can see through the bullshit and the lies, and they're sick of it, right? So nobody's watching. So they're trying to squash their competition, and this is like total. I don't know why our prime minister is not in jail for racketeering. The guy has invested in companies that have ties to the vaccines, and the guy's mandating vaccinations and things like that when he has financial gain stake. It's just like, how is this even legal? So that's just one thing. That's off subject, but my point is the guy is, he says that they say that they're doing it for Canadians. Like, Canadians are asking for this. Well, every single Canadian I've talked to does not want this. So what Canadians are they talking to? I can give you that answer. The only Canadians that are asking for it is like Global TV, CTV, the news, the media and the news companies that are hurting, because They are on the take. They're all on the take, right? So it's ridiculous, you know. So it sounds like they're sectioning us off from everyone that is in a different country, right? Yeah, it's so bizarre because like all these liberals are part of the World Economic Forum, and they talk all this bull crap, but now they're trying to promote Canadian culture. Are you freaking kidding me? It's so hypocritical, so ironic. I just can't do it. I have to say something about it. I've written letters to my local representatives. I've put letters to, like, you know, through other websites and things like that, and signed petitions. I've been posting on social media, and now I'm doing this live stream. I'm going to show you guys a few things. Hey, Fritz-Joes, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? So here's the bill itself. And if anyone wants, I can post this later. But it's very vague, guys. And the problem with it being so vague is these liberals are saying that the CRTC will decide at a later time. Right? Like the CRTC will decide that later. This Bill C-11 is such a freaking joke. Like, it's such a joke, and it's so obvious what they're doing. I cannot believe they're trying to push it through as fast as they can. They're not debating it. They're trying to push it through as fast as they can so that nobody opposes them, right? Before more people find out what it's really about. They're trying to push it through as fast as possible. And you know, when that happens, like, there's something wrong, right? My local representative here, the people in this neighborhood elected an NDP representative. I emailed her and about C-11, and I never heard back. So I invite her to come on to the show even here. Let's have a talk. Let's talk about Bill C-11, why she might support it or not, right? I just don't know anybody who is for this bill at the people user level, right? This is a complete power grab by the Liberal government just to silence more people. And don't tell me this is a conspiracy theory, because it ain't. It ain't a conspiracy theory. Trudeau has proven to everybody that he can't be trusted. He's proven it time and time again. The guy has no ability to tell the truth. No ability. Actually, none of them do. None of them do. If you look at them when they're in debate or in Parliament, it's a gong show. It's an absolute gong show. They never answer any questions, and they use every opportunity to speak just to gaslight. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. We need to clean house is what we need to do, right? But there are some good conservatives emerging. No, there are some good conservatives emerging, and like I say, Pierre Poilievre is the guy. He's the guy, right? Yeah, right. I know. Yeah, like I voted. So I voted. The first time I ever voted when I was 18, I voted Liberal because I was young and stupid, and then I voted NDP. And conservative, between NDP and conservative, and then this last election I voted PPC, which is crazy, right? And then this next election, if Pierre Poilievre is at the helm, I will vote for the conservative government. If Pierre Poilievre is at the head of it, if not, I'll be giving it to Maxime Bernier again. So simple as that, right? This is just like very vague, this bill, and there is a reason for it, because if they really said what they're up to in this bill, no way it would pass. The Liberals have done nothing but lie to us, the past 2 years, and they're asking us to trust them. Let us pass this bill. Trust us. Just let us pass it, and we'll make sure, you know. If you speak out against this bill, what are you, against content creators? Are you against artists? Are you kidding me? I am a content creator, right? Look at YouTube. Find me one Canadian YouTuber on YouTube right now that supports Bill C-11. Find me one, right? You're not going to. You're not going to, unless it's Justin Trudeau's YouTube page, right? I want to move to the States as it is anyway, right? Like, it's just, I'm just so fed up with our country And it's very difficult to succeed as a business person here, right? It's very difficult. In the United States, it's more like the American dream, right? Where you work hard and you get more return, you know? It's just, man, like they're really trying to keep us down. We're at a huge disadvantage as it is, and this is just going to really just bury Canadian YouTube. This is going to be awful. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but at the very least, I'm gonna like get some property in the States so that I can at least register that I live there, and then switch all my stuff over so as if I was living there, you know. But I'm working online type thing. That's like the only thing I can think of. You know what I mean? Dance for communism. Yeah, right. It's just disgusting. It's a disgusting build, and I can't believe, like, we fought so hard to squash C-10, guys. We squashed. I was very active during C-10 as well, and this is just C-10. That's all this is, with barely scratching through, you know, like I'm just getting some momentum, and now this, like, holy cow. Now, since the government has brought C-11 to the table, already my views have tanked. They've gone down big time. Like I would say a good 25% less views already since they've started talking about Bill C-11, guys. So just right there alone, you keep the money into the big corporations like CBC and all that, right? That's all they're doing. And if you look, 99.9% of every single news outlet in Canada takes money from the government. Like, are you kidding me, man? The only news people that lie, like every other news outlet in Canada, it's just disgusting, you know? Another thing that's always disturbed me a lot is the fact that you watch Netflix in Canada. It's not the same as the Netflix in the United States. Why wouldn't it be? Why? Like, it drives me mental that the American programming has way better content and a lot more for the same service, right? We should be getting the same service as the people in the United States. I don't get it. It makes no sense. It's censorship, right? It's like, even if they're trying to promote Canadian content, they're doing it the wrong way because they're censoring everything else. You know, if they're so worried about Canadian content, then why don't they start a Canadian, or at least lobby for a Canadian platform to be started, right? They give what, $60 billion a year to these useless news outlets. Well, why don't they take that $60 billion and put it into their own platform, right? Then they can control it and do whatever they want with it. You know, why are they trying to control everyone else's platforms? They're saying something about numbers and money and income and things like that, right? This is a form of protest here. So basically what we can do is everybody, whether you're I'm a concerned Canadian digital content creator, I'm a concerned Canadian citizen, or I'm a concerned global citizen, you can have a letter written through this website right here, Canada, or Digital First Canada, I think it is, right? What is it? Digital First Canada. I'm going to post a link right here in the chat. I'll make sure to post it in the video description after as well. But this is where everyone needs to go and get a letter in, whether you're in the United States, any country in the world, okay? And especially if you're a Canadian content creator or user, okay? If you use any social media, right? Any streaming service whatsoever, your Netflix is going to go down. Your Prime Video is going to go downhill. Like, it already is highly, highly censored. And now it's going to be double censored, okay? So it's just crazy. Like, I don't understand why I can't watch Elf. Why can't I watch Elf on Prime? I can, if you're in the States, you can, right? That was my favorite show when I was a little kid. I loved it. You know, the alien Elf, right? Why can't I watch that in Canada, right? What does Canada have against aliens? You know, I don't get it. Oh, guys, it's very, 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 very dark days right now, and we got to shut it down. We have to shut this down, guys. So I appreciate each and every person who helps us out here, you know. But yeah, let's look at the YouTube here. What is Bill C-11? What could it mean for creators and discoverability on YouTube? I already talked about that this video, but look, you're not going to find anyone. Oh, crap.
This is Twit. What is Bill C-11 and why are you so upset about it?
Here we go.
I'm so glad you asked, Leo. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So Bill C-11, well, you know this because you worked in Canada for a long time. We have CanCon laws here, which means that if you're a local radio station or TV station or network, you have to do a percentage of Canadian content. And our CRTC, our version of the FCC, regulates what's considered Canadian. Like if you're a Canadian creator, it's
what
not
is
enough
Canadian?
to have a director or a right. Like there's a whole bunch of red tape you have to go through.
So for instance,
to prove you're Canadian.
when I left Tech TV, when I was fired, Vinny Longobardo said, but the Canadian broadcasters, which were Rogers, love Call for Help. Maybe you could go there and do it. So I talked to them, and they said, yeah, you can do it, but you're the only American on this show.
Yes.
Because it has to be Canadian content, and apparently I could host it as an American, but no one else.
You have to have a very careful, and you can have a guest who's American, but like they're very like strict about it.
I like
so they
that.
started to
I
update
understand that because otherwise we would just, culturally take over Canada. I can
with
understand
all the
that.
Canadian actors, comedians, and singers we sent to the U.S.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
what would
It's the
happen to
Bieber
Anne
protocol.
Murray and Gordon Lightfoot?
So if you guys, another point is this, okay? This is what I mean by we're already at a huge disadvantage. Now, I used to work in the film and television business back in Toronto, okay? And when I moved out to Edmonton, there is zero out here. So the only way I can work in film and television is to do it myself. That's why, that's one of the big reasons why I have this studio and why I do what I do is because I always wanted to do it. And when I moved out west, I couldn't do it. So it depends where you live, okay? So right off the bat, okay, we're like you guys have way more opportunity in the United States than we do here. We have to fight like in scratch for every little thing we get, okay, and that's okay. I'm okay with that, right? Because it just is what it is. So now the fact that any successful, like most successful Canadian YouTubers, even end up in the States, right? Like look at Nelk Boys. Look at the Nelk Boys. They're all in the States. Look at all the actors and actresses. Right? They go to the States to get work. They all go to the States, right? To pay less tax. We get taxed so much here, it's ridiculous. Like the tax in this country is just astronomical. We're probably one of the highest taxed people in the world, if not the highest. I don't know the actual stats, but we gotta be up there. It's just ridiculous, But yeah, that's just that's my point. I was just gonna pause there for a second. I'm like, dude. Look at all the big actors. They're all living down in the States, guys.
We need
the issue
Canada.
The issue was that they were going to update this because it's horribly out of date, and they were going to include Netflix and Crave and Disney Plus. But then a bunch of industry people got in and said, well, you really should include YouTube because that's a big competitor of ours. And so the language is so vague right now that I, as an independent YouTuber, anyone who's monetized would have to fill out the same paperwork that Bell or Rogers has to do without any of their resources, would be subject to the same sorts of Canadian content policies.
Right.
They're going to try to force YouTube to change the algorithm, the discovery system, so that it recommends Canadians over other content, even if our content isn't enjoyed by the audience, which means they won't watch it, which means that we'll be decelerated in YouTube.
Oh, Lord.
It's independent YouTubers are not broadcasters, and YouTube audience is not a cable bundle subscriber. And so right now
exactly. So and one of the things is as a YouTuber, I do everything myself. I absolutely do everything by myself. And when I worked in film and television, okay, there was teams of people working on commercials and shows and movies and things like that. Teams of people, big, huge budgets, lots of money. Okay. But dude, we're literally, I have to work at my day job and then spend my money on my day job to do this second job to try to build this up. And like he's saying, okay, how are you going to be determined Canadian enough? Well, you have to fill out all this freaking paperwork and send it in for every single video you do. Give me a break, man. Give me a freaking break. How does that give us any fairness when it comes to competitiveness. Like, it doesn't, right? Could you imagine having to do that for all your YouTube videos, guys? Fill out paperwork so that you can be deemed American enough to be put on YouTube? Like, come on, man. This is so wrong in so many levels. These guys, they have sunk to a whole new low with this bill, and it's disgusting, man. Absolutely disgusting. Oh, brutal.
It's looking very bad for us because there's all the money behind the big media companies, all the lobbyists. So they had hearings and they invited 11 lobbyists and one YouTuber.
Right?
To give them their opinion.
11 lobbyists and one YouTuber. One YouTuber to represent all the platforms.
For us. But we're trying to raise awareness so that hopefully all we want them to do is codify that independent YouTubers are not included, or YouTube and TikTok are not included in what should be, Netflix and cable.
But
streaming cable bundles.
Isn't this good for you, Renee? You are Canadian content.
Well, yeah.
You're wearing a flannel shirt, for Christ's sake.
The CRTC gets to decide that, and you have to fill out the forms for every video, which is incredibly onerous. Oh. And even then, like, most of our audiences are global. Like, one of the differences is Canadian broadcasters reflect our culture and values internally, so we get to see about us. But YouTube is global, and we should be using it to project our values.
Yes, exactly. Perfectly said.
It'll make us overcompete in Canada and undercompete internationally.
Ah, good point.
100% correct.
I can't put Twitch shows on YouTube.
It means they'll be voted down, like they'll be downranked compared to, but it's a bad video.
Yep, exactly.
It's just artificially mismatched.
Oh, that's terrible. And then not only that, but what if Finland did the same thing, or France?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I was going to. France kind of already has this because of the language. The specific issue you have there is that you all speak English. For us, the French market is, we do have two types of videos. We have videos in English and, well, every language, but also videos.
Anyways, that's a good point. And it's like, so yeah, what happens like when all these other countries start doing it too? Right? Like, they're gonna just destroy the platform. There's gonna be no integrity left. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy to me to think that anyone would think that this is necessary. And you know the motives, and they're not good. They're not good intentions. That's what I truly believe. Like I say, our Canadian government has not proven to us any otherwise, you know what I mean? It's crazy that they don't let the people decide, and they have no business meddling in this. This is not their job. Like, this is not their job. They have no business trying to regulate the internet, man. Are you kidding me, dude? It should be a free and open market, guys. And we should succeed based on the quality of our content, right? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Did I actually just... This guy right here, oh my God, this guy here, Pablo, is one of the best liars in the world. He is just so good at lying, man. Oh, he's got one of those real punchable faces too, eh? Oh man, I can't stand that guy. But look at that. Look at already, man. So yeah, look at that. Rip my career. See that? This could be the last time you see me. He's talking about Bill C-11 here. Rip my career. Like, it looks like it's already being suppressed. Like, I'm surprised there's not more. Like, Bill C-10 videos are coming up when I searched Bill C-11. Like, this is JJ right here. Trying to this right here is a great this right here shows you exactly who was at, like, the lobbyists that were at the hearing. I just want to go to that list part, but yeah, it'll show you like who was all there.
That fancy intro, I am in Ottawa right now because I have been summoned to testify at a parliamentary committee of the House of Commons. Specifically, I have been asked to offer my thoughts on bills critical of this proposed legislation in my capacity as a political commentator. Longtime viewers of this channel may recall that I made a couple of videos last year opposing Bill C-10, which was the previous version of this legislation that then died when Prime Minister Trudeau called an election in late 2021. Bill C-11.
I can't believe it was already. It was only a year ago. C-10 was only a year ago. That's just crazy to me.
Before we get into that, let me just tell you a little bit about how the Canadian parliamentary legislative process works, so you perhaps understand a bit more clearly.
Yeah, JJ actually says it real good
what
here,
I'm
I
about
think.
to do. So this fancy building is, of course, the Canadian Parliament, and all Canadian laws start here in the House of Commons. So the way it works is that a member of the Prime Minister's cabinet introduces a bill to the Parliament in what is called the first reading. If the Parliament votes to proceed, that bill is then sent to a committee.
Yeah, this is great.
where
JJ
it
is
can be
good.
debated
I
in detail
like JJ.
by a smaller group of politicians. and like
Very, very strange. I thought there would be more like different YouTubers that you'd think would have been invited, but I feel like they picked him specifically, and he did very good considering, right? Like
flaws or virtues of the bill. Since the government of Canada does a lot of stuff these days, there are a lot of different committees, and the committee has 12 members, 6 Liberals, 4 Conservatives, and 2 from the other parties. The witnesses who are called to testify at a committee are also generally picked in proportion to the partisan makeup of the committee. So in this case, the Liberals got to call the most, whereas the Conservatives got to call me. Now,
do you see that? Right? So the Conservatives got to call JJ. That's it. The Liberals and the other guys called all of these people, and these people are just so out of proportion. There's no real representation at all, right there.
Parliament buildings themselves, but rather in these generic office buildings that are scattered around Ottawa. I'm not supposed to film inside of the building, so I guess the next thing you will see will actually be the hearing itself. So wish me luck. All right, now I have to say that initially.
Anyways, I'm not going to watch his whole video. It's fascinating to me that they can do this and get away with it, right? So how come I don't understand why the Conservatives couldn't call more witnesses? I missed that part, but it's just like, man, it's so not needed. It's so not needed, and we're really suffering, man. This is just some craziness, right? Absolute craziness. What do you guys think about this? I want to know what you guys think. And as YouTube viewers, like, how do you think about being told what you can and can't watch? Or being shown things, like recommended things that you're not interested in. I don't know. I have a really bad feeling they're going to pass this, and it's just going to be really bad for everybody. I just, man, we gotta fight it every step of the way, guys. Start talking about it. Encourage other people to talk about it, and just spread the word. Spread that website, okay? Digital First Canada, and get a letter in to your local representatives, and that's the best way, right? Just tell the YouTubers that to talk about it, right? We got to spread the word as fast as possible, because they're going to break for summer, and I have a feeling they're going to try to push this through before break. And I really thought they would be at least voting on it in the fall, but I don't know. I just been hearing some crazy stuff that they're going to rush it through before the summer break. Like, I don't even know. These guys don't even deserve a summer break. Like, they need. There's too much work to do. Like, I can't even believe they're breaking for the summer. It's just ridiculous. Man, everybody in this country is hurting right now, and all these politicians have given themselves raises, and all these CEOs have given themselves raises, and all these big corporations are making record profits just because everyone's gouging us. It's just crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. So, just dark days, guys. Dark days. Like, I don't understand. There's so many other things they should be doing, but they're trying to control the narrative, right? They're trying to take control of the internet before next election, and they're trying to pass this through as quick as possible, because if it fails this time, they're going to try again. And they're trying to control the narrative before the next election, so that they don't have any opposition on these platforms, right? Because honestly, the biggest opposition coming right now is from YouTube, because that's where the only place you can speak freely, barely, but I hope YouTube changes that. I hope they realize, like, man, you know, we need to talk about this stuff. We need to get it out there, okay? It can't be suppressed. We need to talk about the corruption in Canada. It's really important. And yeah, like they're not going to win the next election, but if they get they've already got the media, the legacy media, they already got that, right? So if they get control of social media next, you know, that's very dangerous for democracy. Very, very dangerous, guys. So I don't know. What do you guys think? The Senate, yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too. I don't understand it. Like these guys, like they're bull crap. Like they're talking. They're smooth talkers, guys. They're smooth talkers. They lie to you to your face, no problem. And they're trying to convince everyone it's a good thing for Canadians, but it's not. It's not a good thing for any Canadian. It's only good for these corporations. That's it, right? The state-run media and these other corporations, that's all it's good for. It's not good for Canadians. It's only good for them, the rich guys, so they can get richer and have more power. That's all it is. It's power and money, guys. And it's not fair, right? We bring a lot of money in through YouTube, guys. Through YouTube and social media, Canadians, there's a lot of creators in Canada because there's nothing else to do here, right? So it's you know what I mean? There's not a lot to do here as compared to the US. So there's a lot of content creators, and there's long ass winters here, right? So there's a lot of content creators. We bring a lot of money into the country from other countries through YouTube and other social media platforms. There's a lot of big YouTubers that bring jobs, that create lots of jobs and stuff. And it's spread out. It's not all in Toronto. It's not all in Vancouver. It's spread out across the country. It's totally messed up, right? It's totally messed up, Mike. It's just, I don't know, man. We need to fix it. We need to make a stand now. You got to get to that website and get a letter in. Go to the government website to find out who your local representative is. You just go to type in Google, even find out who your local MP is or whatever, or MLA, and it'll take you to a website where you put your postal code in, and it'll tell you who your elected representatives are. That way you can send them an email or give them a phone call or something like that. But yeah, it's terrible. So I've never ever thought we'd have a prime minister so hated in all my life. It's just, this guy is just totally wrong for our country, and I can't believe he got reelected but I do, because there was no one else to vote for. That's the problem, right? Like who are you going to vote for? Jagmeet or Aaron O'Toole? I don't think so. I love this platform. I love YouTube. I'd hate for all my hard work in the past to just kind of be erased because I'm not Canadian enough for them, or I have a difference of opinion than they do, you know? I think opinions are like a-holes, and everyone has one, right? But we should have a right to our own opinion. And as long as we're not being, you know, harmful or hateful, we should have the freedom to say and speak whatever we want, right? Like, we should have freedom of speech, right? But yeah, like, I don't get it. I just don't get this is just, I've never seen such an attack on democracy. And it's like, man, we're in a really, really bad spot. You know what I mean? Are you just asking in general, are they really trying to do this? Yeah, they are really trying to do this. And the chances of it passing are extremely high right now. They're not stupid. They're not stupid. They have carefully positioned themselves, witnesses, and media, and even cabinet, right? They've positioned the debates. They've shut down debates. They've taken them to committee. It's like, oh man. You know, so yeah, we have the rely on the Senate. They're trying to shut down any kind of opposition to their opinions, for sure, because that's what they do, and they're trying to push Canadian content that's made by the corporations, not Canadian creators. We're gonna get shoved to the bottom, and everything, like, you know, free economy, a free market. Like, I feel like we're like, just we're going to be at a huge disadvantage now. Massive. It's not going to be worth it for anybody to start a YouTube channel anymore in Canada, almost, right? Like, how sad is that, right? How sad is that? You have to fill out freaking paperwork every time you upload a video to deem yourself Canadian enough. Like, Jesus, man. Like, it's enough hoops we got to jump through when we're monetized as it is, you know? And it's like, dude, you protest against the government here, they'll take your bank accounts, they'll seize your bank accounts and throw you in jail. What does that remind you of? What does that remind you of? Pat King, another Canadian YouTuber, Pat King, is still in jail. He's still in jail. For why? What did he do? Well, he was a YouTube creator. He was streaming the convoy, the Freedom Convoy. And he was helping bring gas and food and driving people to hotels and stuff. He was helping and live streaming. He's still in jail. Over 100 days later, they denied him bail. They let freaking murderers walk. Like, are you kidding me? They let murderers walk on bail. But they won't let this guy out because he spoke out against the government. Pat King, free Pat King. Right? So what the hell, guys? Think about it. They've been throwing pastors in jail. All across the country, they've been throwing pastors in jail because they were feeding the whole and mask up. You know, lockdown. So I'm sorry, but the homeless, the hungry, they still going to be hungry and homeless. Who's going to feed them, right? Pastor Archer Pavlovsky. Seriously, he's fighting a court case right now because he was feeding the homeless. I could go on and on and on. The Canadian government has given us no reason to trust them. In fact, complete opposite. We should be terrified of them. I had to jump on and talk about Bill C-11 because it's just, we just have to talk about it as much as we can, and, you know, never be silenced. Keep asking questions, right? Always ask questions, you know. Never be silenced. Nice to see some more guys from Canada. It's like I was saying, like my audience is only 8% Canadian and 60% from the States, right? Like, this is, I don't know how it's going to affect me, you know. I really don't. It's like, what happens if you don't want to fill out the paperwork, right? Like honestly, right? Like, is it going to affect you? You know, like, is it like, there's just it's just so vague. Nobody knows how it's going to affect them, and the government is basically saying, well, trust us. We'll work it out after. Let's pass the bill, and then the CRTC will work it out after. I don't think so, man. I don't think we should trust them. I don't think we should let it go down like that, right? If you want to watch French videos, you can watch French videos. It's not hard. You go and you watch French videos. And if you have a history of watching all French, I bet you that's what you get in your recommendations. It's French, right? It's just, I don't understand, like, why would they think promoting French videos to English people makes any sense? Because they don't understand. They're not going to understand it. Right? I don't understand. That was it. That was my spiel on Bill C-11, guys. So please go to this website and fill this form out. Pass this link out, guys. I'm going to post this link in the video description as well. Pass the link out. Spread the word to as many people as you can, because this is for us, the people, guys. This is for us, the people. This is a bill against the people. Okay, this is a bill for the greedy rich. Okay, that's all it is the greedy rich are going to profit from this bill, and the rest of us are going to suffer. That's all. That's the way I see it.